You know, so you're talking about the support. Let's move to the next bullet point here, where you talk about the motivation. Who's propping up the price for the Ethereum Classic now?
Yeah. Well, we've talked about a few things. It's I have my thoughts, right, as to two groups of people. One are people, who want to see, there's people in the community outside of Ethereum that I believe want Ethereum to fail, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, I can imagine why, because like the word we were saying that we hear many reports of the team being egomaniacs, right? So it seems like to me, just looking at my Twitter feed, that they've made some enemies for various reasons. I don't really know, but I get the sense that there are people in the community that do want it to fail, right?
I think it comes down to egos also, because if you look at Vitalik, right, he's a young kid, and he built $1 billion network.
Sure.
And he's the face of Ethereum. No matter what anybody says, you got Gavin Wood and all the Josh brothers, the Slockett team, everybody contributing to it. But the reality is that the face of Ethereum is Vitalik. And what happens is there are people that have been working on Bitcoin for years now, slaving away, and nobody even knows who they are. And they probably don't have the kind of money that Vitalik has now, and the popularity, the fame, the respect, and they've been slaving away at Bitcoin. And in their minds, they believe that Bitcoin should be the number one most.
We have a term from those, the Bitcoin maximalists. Actually, that's a term Vitalik himself. I think he created that term, right?
Yeah,
people who believe
that a Bitcoin maximalist is basically a Bitcoin fanboy or a Bitcoin diehard. They just refuse to believe that there should be any other cryptocurrency except for Bitcoin.
Yeah. Sure. So that's one group of people, I think, that is keeping the price of Ether Classic. The other group of people, I believe, are seem to be, in my mind, the Ethereum holders that didn't invest in the DAO, that don't agree with the hard fork.
Yeah.
I think that those are another large group. We're looking at the volume here that's being traded, and I just have CoinMarketCap in front of me. It's $107 million in the past 24 hours versus $97 million in Ethereum, right? Just at the time where I'm looking at it now.
Yeah.
So that's too big to be just one guy.
Yeah,
right?
It's not individuals like you and I.
Yeah, it's not individuals. It's not even a group of individuals. There's a big portion of the community right now that I think, just based on the trading volume, that don't support the hard fork, and they're doing whatever they can, basically putting their money where their mouth is, to support the classic chain, right?
Yeah.
Now, before this happened, everyone thought that it was up to the miners, and I had always been saying that no, it's not up to the miners. It's up to mainly the exchanges, right? And then once a major exchange such as Poloniex decides to list it, then it's up to the users whether or not they want to trade it, right?
Yeah.
Whether or not they want to put their money into it.
Yeah. And where the money flows is where the miners go.
Yes. So the miners are pretty much, they're not, many people are saying on my Twitter and, saying that, it's up to the miners' decision. The miners are not making any decisions. They're just looking at, what makes us the most money? Where can I point my hash rate that will earn me the most amount of money, right?
Yeah.
And that's a function of the price of the coin versus the difficulty of the chain.
Yeah,
right?
because right now, in case of people, the audience that are listening, the last time you and I checked about an hour or two ago, the difficulty level was at like 3.6% on the classic chain, and then it's like 100%.
15% of the price. It's 15% of the price for 3% of the difficulty, right?
Yeah.
So you mine one Ether Classic, you get 15% of the value of the Ether, right? The hard forked Ether, but you only spent 3% of the hash rate, right?
Yeah.
You get 15% for only spending 3%, right, of the difficulty. So you know the hash rate's going to, as long as the price stays up here, the hash rate will probably climb. And this is really a tragedy for Ethereum, because it's really splitting. Hashing power is a resource.
Yeah, and it's splitting because the network can be much more secure if all that hashing power was combined. Because they got about like 3,000 something gigahashes on the fork chain, and the last time I checked, there was like 800 gigahashes on the classic chain.
Yeah, and it's only a matter of time. It's going to go up, right?
Yeah.
We see the price versus the difficulty, and we know that, like if you were an Ether miner, why would you not mine classic, right? You have all the same hardware to do that. You just need to point your miners at a different chain, right?
Yeah. So let's get back to who is supporting and propping up the price of the exchanges of Ethereum Classic, right? Here's my thought, man. Here's just a thought that I'm going to throw out there.
Yeah.
And I'm just throwing this out there based on the evidence that I see, because I sat there literally today and watched the Ethereum Classic being traded on Poloniex for like 2 hours nonstop, because this is just fascinating to me. So I sat there and I actually just sat there and watched it for like 2 hours. Okay. And I can tell you something. A human being cannot update their orders that quick. Like, there was orders that were just being updated. I mean, like, I tried to just buy like, 1 or 2 Bitcoins just to test things out, and I could not capture the price that I wanted. As soon as I see it listed, it was gone. I mean, like, whoever it is that's doing it, they have very advanced technology, and they're capturing prices, and they're connected to an API or something into Poloniex, and they're making, like, high-frequency trades that's much faster than a human being can ever do. So it's not humans that's doing it. It's computers that are doing it. And here's the other thing that I would say too, okay? Check this out, okay? I don't have any evidence. I don't have facts to substantiate this. I just see the results, the effects, right? I can't show you the cause, but I can show you the effects, okay? Is that when the prices change and the volume of Bitcoin change on the order books, it changes too freaking fast for someone that's connected away from Poloniex. In other words, whoever's doing it has a direct connection into the Poloniex servers.
Sure.
Okay.
And Poloniex does have public APIs. I mean, that's known. I think.
Yeah,
Poloniex...
but it's whoever's doing it has their software installed on either on the Poloniex servers, or they have their servers, their computers co-located right next to the Poloniex servers. You know how, like, Goldman Sachs or whoever it was, that high-frequency trading firm in New York, they spent like $1 billion to improve the fiber optic lines, to increase it by a few like milliseconds between New Jersey and Manhattan.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So whoever's doing this is doing at the same caliber of trading, okay? And that's why, I don't recommend anybody that's listening to us trade on a small time frame, like 1 minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, because if you do, you're going to get crushed by these high-frequency crypto traders, because their ability to buy orders and sell orders in is thousands of times faster than what you can do. Okay?
Yeah. So it's really, and I'm really wondering about Poloniex themselves, right?
Yeah,
like
here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to add. These high-frequency traders that have their servers or their software, their trading software, it's either right next to the Poloniex servers, or it's on the Poloniex servers, or check this out. You really want to hear this? Are you ready for this?
Sure. Go ahead.
Right? I think it's Poloniex themselves.
You think Polonia? It could be Polonia?
Yeah, because they're not being fucking regulated by the goddamn SEC or anybody.
Sure.
Like, what's to keep them low? Listen, when you and I trade, right? There is a 1 to 2% slippage. Slippage means that if you see it listed for $5, and by the time you get it, you want to buy it for $5. By the time you get it, it's like 503, 505, sure. 510. Okay, that's in terms of U.S. dollars. In terms of Satoshis, most people don't understand how to read those frickin' 8 decimal places. So when they put an order in, they don't sit there and count how many decimal places it is, right? So in their mind, the human mind is not used to comprehending numbers out to 8 decimal places. So you know what? You know, even myself, I put orders in, it fills, you know, and I'm good to go. I don't sit there and calculate. Oh, I got slipped 5%. Now on one deal, I did get like on the Ethereum shorts, I got slipped an average of about 5% getting in and getting out. In other words, I lost 5% of what I put in just to make that trade. That's why I stopped shorting Ethereum, because it costs like 5% just to get in and out.
Sure.
Right? So that it doesn't make sense. But now, does it cost Poloniex anything to make that same trade? Does it cost Poloniex anything?
Probably not. No.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's just like when you were working in Manhattan for the big banks, and when you were working for the man. I mean, they can short stocks that they don't own.
That's right.
It doesn't cost them anything. It doesn't cost them commissions, transaction fees. It costs them absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Right? So imagine all those, like some, for example, they like today during the 2 hours.
Yeah, they were shorting stocks that don't exist. Right?
Yeah.
They were shorting shares that don't even exist.
Yeah, exactly. So what's to prevent Poloniex from doing that? They don't have no proof of inventory. They don't have no proof of inventory. Nobody can inspect them and determine how much Bitcoin inventory or how much Ethereum inventory
they're
they
not
have.
Being audited. Yeah,
they're not being audited, and nobody audits them, right? Yeah. And the other thing too is that nobody even knows who the hell they are.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Like after Poloniex listed Ethereum Classic, every other exchange followed almost. Like Bittrex followed.
Because I am convinced that the exchanges are running the prices. Yeah, I believe it, because who can prove that they aren't? Who's going to inspect them? There's absolutely no way that anybody can come in and inspect them, because you can't.
Why would they do that? Why would they?
Because it's free money. It's free money, man. It's like so let me explain to you. You know how the bookies make their money? They don't care who wins or loses.
Yeah, it's about the volume. Yeah.
It's about the volume, and they make what's called the juice, right? When you're a bookie, you make money on the juice, the spread. The house takes a piece off the top, a small piece off the top, and they're taking 1/4% off the top, right? And that's not including the slippage. That's not including the slippage is even higher than the goddamn 1/4% transaction fee. The reason why the slippage is a lot higher is because people don't know how to calculate the slippage.
Sure.
Right? The slippage is just in case somebody's listening to this and they don't know what slippage is. Slippage is if you see something that's listed for $10, and when you go to click the buy button and you buy it for $10, right? Instead of paying $10 for it, you end up paying $10.05 or $10.10 for it. So that extra 5 cents or that extra 10 cents that you did not anticipate paying for, that's called slippage. So in the world of trading, we call that you just got slipped, Leon.
Yeah.
Right? Or I say, man, you know what? I was trying to short Ethereum and I got slipped 5%. Right? That's a huge percentage. Do you think that the average trader knows that? Do you think that the beginning traders know that? I've been trading for like the last 8 years of my life. And, you know, I saw that immediately when I got into it. I saw it immediately.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of that is the liquidity is not there.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Check this out. And here's more clues that the exchange themselves is the ones I believe is running up the price, right?
Okay.
Because what do they care? What do they care if you run up the price on them, right? And they make the money on the transaction cost.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of volume going on.
I know.
Unless they're rigging the volume.
Dude, what's to stop them? It's
nothing.
It's just,
nothing.
It's just printing money for them, bro. It's just printing frickin' money for them. It's just a money printing machine for them. They don't give a shit if it goes up. They could care less, because when it crashes and goes back down, they know that the traders have to get out of their position. So guess what they have to do? Guess what they do? They collect the transaction fees and the slippage on the downside.
Sure.
They don't care, man.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Right?
All right.
And check this out. During the 2 hours that I was watching it, right? Because this is fascinating to me that a dead Ethereum chain is coming back to life. That's why I took the time to sit there for over 2 hours to watch the order book and the receipts, the time and sales window to see what comes through, right? And check this out. Check this out. They flash 300 or 400 Bitcoins at one time, and then they disappear. They flash it, and then they disappear.
Sure.
Right? Because it spooks people, right? And when you say it spooks other traders, what does that mean? It scares off other traders, right? And here's how they do it. They are big-time algorithm, high frequency, because they know how to code. I mean, obviously, if you run an exchange like Poloniex, you got good coders that work there, right? So what happens is you got like, the mom and pop coders, like the amateur coders that think they know how to create a bot, and they go in there and they see it, and they have some protections inside their algorithms, their bots, their trading bots, and hey, if you see like the volume go up this much, then get out, just get out. So they're doing this to spook people on purpose, to scare off the smaller bots. Right?
Okay, so it's a war against the trading wars against bots.
And all they care about is transaction costs and slippage. The slippage is where they make their freaking money. People don't know that. The exchange makes their money on the slippage. They don't make it, right? Because here's the thing. And they make it on the slippage, the markup, right? Slippage is a way to mark up the products before you deliver it to the customer. So let's just say that you're a seller. Let's say you're selling ethers let's say you're selling ethers at 100,000 Satoshis, and I want to buy the ethers. So you're a seller, I'm a buyer. When I go to hit the buy button to buy it for 100,000 Satoshis, right? If I just buy one ether from you, then I can see the slippage. Like if I buy one Satoshi from you for 100,000 Satoshi, and then I get it, and I saw that I paid 105,000 Satoshis for it, I can see, hey, I got slipped 5,000 Satoshis. However, when I start buying like 100, 200, 300 ethers from you, I don't see that unless I sit there and do the math. And you think most people are going to sit there and log their trades in like I do and analyze it and look at how much they got slipped? Most people don't do that shit.
Yeah.
Right? They don't even know what the hell.
I mean, the
they don't even know what the hell
thing you do is that's what limit orders are for, right? So you don't pay more than what you think what you want to pay, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing though. They have it in the fine print that hey, they do their best to fill your order, right?
Yeah, you may not get filled, but you won't pay more, right?
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. If it's all individuals putting in limit orders, right? There's what's called a limit sweep, right? I mean, that's something that I talk about in our cryptocurrency investing program that we have, that we're working on. That's something I talk about, a buy sweep and a sell sweep, where you just sweep in all the orders and just get the best price that you hope to get the best price you can, because you really cannot put in a limit order, okay? You really cannot put in a limit order because they actually see it. So you're forced to either do a buy sweep or a sell sweep, and just, especially if you buy more than 1 or 2 Bitcoins worth of any cryptocurrency, you have to sweep it. You cannot do a limit order. Like the people that are listening right now, if you guys are listening right now and you guys only buy like half a Bitcoin or a quarter of a Bitcoin or a fraction of a Bitcoin, you won't understand what I'm talking about. But if you start getting into larger volumes where you're buying several Bitcoins at a time worth of a cryptocurrency, you have to do a buy sweep or a sell sweep in order to get it, okay? So what happens is this, okay? When you do that, guess what happens, bro? Guess what happens when you do that? The exchanges get to mark it up. So let's say that if I want to buy, let's say 1,000 ethers from you, right? And you list, you advertise on the bid side that, you advertise on the ask side that you are selling 1,000 ethers. And I advertise on the bid side that I want to buy you 1,000 ethers. Well, guess what? It happens so quick that Poloniex can actually go in there and mark up your price and fill my order. They can actually do that. And there's nothing to stop them from doing that, and they make a killing off of doing that.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. There's absolutely nothing to stop them. And here's the thing. If you and I owned the exchange, you and I would do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You and I would do, because you're a coder, and I would tell you, hey, look, man, code this shit so it does this, man. Look, whenever this guy's buying, right, I want you to mark it up by X amount of percentage and sell it back to this guy, and we're gonna jump in between.
Yeah, they front run. They front run it and sell it back. Yeah, they front run it and sell it back. Yeah.
Because guess what? They know where the orders are at, and guess what they can do? Guess what else they can do? They can wash and rinse your ass. You know what a wash and rinse is?
Yeah.
I mean, you know what it is, but you may have forgot that it's called a wash and rinse. Okay. Let's see that they see that everybody's orders to buy or sell is at a specific price. They will go up there and push the price up, right, to stop everyone out or to trigger their orders, right? You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. Yeah, can you hear me?
Hold on. So that's why it triggers their orders, and what happens is it triggers their orders and it forces them out. And they just made a quick profit. And to us, it doesn't seem like, why would they waste time doing that? They made 5,000 satoshis or 10,000 satoshis, big deal. But what people don't realize is that they're doing that on thousands and thousands of ethers at one time, or whatever crypto that is being traded. Okay, does that make sense?
Sure, yeah.
Right?
It makes perfect sense,
So whenever you say that, hey, could it be a hedge fund? Could it be a high-frequency trader? Could it be? It's definitely a big player, a big whale that's moving the prices, that's propping up the price of Ethereum Classic at the moment.
Yeah.
Right? Because think about that. Like the average investor that comes in, right? Why would they jump on Ethereum Classic for?
Yeah, that's right.
Right? And most of the DAO token holders, they just got their refund back. Why would they go back and support the other chain and risk losing their ethers?
Yeah, true.
Right. So the bulk of the people that got into the DAO are people that have some type of experience in investing in crypto, right?
Sure.
Even if it's not a lot, at least they're familiar with it, right? Yep. So they know what the difference between the fork chain and the classic chain is. So it can't be them, because it would jeopardize. Like you and I are the only people that I know of that invested in the DAO, and now we bought a small amount of classic ethers just to do some testing so we can report it back to our viewers. But most people that I know, they're not going to do that.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on the motivation behind propping up the price is that I believe it's an inside job, and I believe that it's the exchanges that are doing it. And until somebody shows me evidence otherwise, I'm going to base my comments on the effects that I see. I don't actually see the cause, but I do see the effects of it.
So do you think the volume is real?
The volume is real, right? The volume is real, okay? But who owns that? I mean,
exactly.
Just think about it, right? Let's just make a hypothetical example. You have 1 million ethers, right? And it would cost you. This is what we call sloshing it around. Okay, you slosh it between. You throw the ethers back and forth between the buy and sell. Let's say you post it up for you. Let's say that you take your 1 million ethers and you put up 100,000 of it on the sell side, and then you run in there and you turn around and you buy it from yourself. Right?
Sure.
You buy it from yourself, and then you run back and you prop it up on the buy side, and then you sell it back to yourself. So it's just you're sloshing the ethers back and forth between the buyers and the sellers. And to the untrained eye, right, they think that, there's a lot of volume, there's a lot of buying pressure, there's a lot of selling pressure. But really, it's just you, the exchange, that's sloshing the price back and throwing the coins back and forth. Now, you might say, well, how's that even possible? Well, of course it's possible. They're the ones that own the ethers, and it's their exchange, and it's their software. So it's not like you can go in and audit it, right? Now here's the thing: if you try to do that, and then people that are listening right now might say, well, Ty, Leon, why can't we do it? Like I'm sure there's people whales out there that got in early on the Ethereum ICO and they have 100,000 ethers. Why can't they do that and just push the price up or push the price down? The problem is, they have to pay transaction fees and slippage, whereas the exchange doesn't. The exchange does it completely free without any cost of slippage and any cost of fees, transaction fees. If you took your 100,000 ethers and you tried to buy it and sell it to yourself, what happens is every time you make a transaction, you lose 3 to 5% of it. Yeah, and every time you do it again, you lose another 3 to 5%. So how many times can you do that before your account goes down to 0 ethers? Whereas the exchange can do that all day long. There's no transaction cost and there's no slippage cost.
Sure.
So, well, I mean, to me, that I'm looking at the effects, bro. I'm not looking at. I can't look inside their servers. You know, I'm not technical enough. You know, like you are to be able to. You know, I don't have access, and even if I did, I'm not technical like you are to be able to review what they're doing and do it. But here's the thing: I'm a trader. You know.
Sure.
So if I see transactions coming through the time and sales, and I see, I look at the order books, I know how to read it. You know, and I know what a human being is capable of doing with a mouse and a keyboard, right? And I know what an individual is capable of doing with their account sizes, right?
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on what's propping up the exchange prices. Because if you look at Shapeshift and Bittrex and all them, they're jumping on the same bandwagon. Why? Because it's easy. It's free money. You just cycle through and you just pump it up, right?
Yeah.
And with the exception of Shapeshift, you know why?
Because they're more of a dealer than an exchange. Right?
Yeah, they're more of a dealer because they're more of a broker than an exchange. Because let's say if you want to buy some Ethereum Classic, you have to put up your Bitcoin, and they hold that in escrow somehow.
Yeah. And they hold inventory. They actually hold.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different for them. But for like Poloniex, Bittrex, and like Kraken, none of those exchanges are regulated. Nobody inspects them. Nobody audits them. Man, they can do. I mean, dude, this is like free. It's like a free printing press for them.
Sure.
It is. It's just that every day they're collecting transactions and slippage fees, and they're making a killing. Yeah. That's my thought.
Hey,
you have any thoughts on that?
No. I think you covered it pretty well. Well, Ty, let me get going here. It's getting late for me here, so I'll catch you later. Okay.
All right, man.
All right.
Right.
Good night.
I'll catch you later, and thanks for watching this, guys. If you guys like it, give us a thumbs up. If you guys don't like it, give it a thumbs down. It might sound like I'm a little passionate about this, but you know, I hate it when the exchanges, rip off the public. Okay. So.
All right. Good night,
All
Ty.
right. All right. Take care.